Good afternoon. How is everyone? Right, I'm going to finish off this belt pouch. As you can see, I've changed the camera angle slightly. I've actually moved things around. So now, instead of when I'm looking up there, I'm not looking at the computer screen. I'll be looking at the computer screen over here. Sorry. Oh, what was that? There's something just went ding. Okay. Oh. Hi. Thank you. I'm still so confused by all of this. Right. Yes, thank you very much for the share. Awesome. So I thought I'd finish off this belt pouch. Got a little bit of sewing to do. Shouldn't be too big a job. And I was thinking to myself, it's a belt pouch. She doesn't really have any good belts, nice belts. So I made her a belt this morning. I've been here waiting for deliveries and doing some deliveries for the shop myself. So I thought I'd make this in the meantime. I found a piece of bridle leather that's long enough to do the job. It's an offcut from another piece. And I've just made a nice belt out of it. I know there's no holes in it. I'm going to sort that when we get home. Yes. I need to get it the right size for it, basically. So for the moment, press that button. There we go. Like that. So you can see my work surface now. There's the pouch, just as I left it yesterday. This belt will fit through there. I left plenty of... She can put any size belt in there she wants, really. She's got plenty of space. So we just need to sew that on, sew the lid piece on, and then sew the outside edges. I make it sound so simple, don't I? One side. I haven't got Harry with me today. I left him at home. He was most peeved about that. Right. Let's get some tools. Okay, so I need a straight line along which to mark this. That's a good point, actually. My bump jigs are on. Thank you, Angela. Much appreciated. This is the bump jig that I was on about. Well, it's actually an engineer's square, and they're designed to be screwed down to a desk. You can see that's why there's holes in them. They're designed to be screwed down so you can easily bump something up for this. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm easily going to bump something up to it so I can get that square like that, and then leave myself in that room. See, I've adjusted the camera angles so when I stand up, you don't lose the top part of my head now. And the idea is that I can get that square to there and get this piece of leather. Much better if I do it that way around so the camera can actually see it. I can do that, and then that, and I know it's square to the edge of the leather. Technically. Move that out of the way. And school myself a line. And that's very, very close to the edge of that. That's silly. There isn't a great deal of room in here. I've only got like a 5mm overlap. Go. Yeah. So that's right down the middle of that. Brilliant. So these could be quite useful. I'll keep these. I'll experiment more with them. I've got two that came as a pair. So, all right. Tool. I also had to tidy up. I could find things again. I'm going to go in the thing like that. So let's do it that way around. If you're looking at that, there's a little bit of an overlap there, isn't there? Let's trim that off. Okay, tidy this up. There we go. Start reasonably close to the edge. I know I may have mentioned it in the past in another video, but I watch my videos back to see if there's anything that's changing, you know, sound quality, camera positions, things like that. And I noticed when I was using my heat gun, it just looked like I was standing there doing this with it. I was, but it was actually switched on. It's just that the way that the microphone and everything is set up, if there's a loud noise, it cuts it out. So you don't ever hear it. So what you couldn't hear was this running. And I was watching the video back and going, there's something wrong with that. And then it took me a little while to figure out what was wrong. But this was actually running. It did heat the glue up. It's just that the levels on the microphone and everything would have cut it out and you wouldn't have heard it. It's the same with the hammer. When I smack the hammer down, you hardly hear anything on the video. That's because of the way I set the microphone up. Right, now we're ready to sew this, aren't we? Take a seat. Oh, let's do the belt loops at the same time, shall we? That would help, wouldn't it? How am I doing that one? That's very carefully. I want the stitching to overlap the edge of the belt loop by at least one stitch, so that it helps hold it down, hold it in place. No, I've just done that straight through into the mat, haven't I? Leaving enough leather, enough meat on this side, because as I said, I don't need to do it too tight to the end. There's plenty of space in there for any size belt you might want to wear. Right, smart to all those up. Right. Yeah. Do it this way. If I put this where I'm supposed to put it, which is on my seat, you normally sit on this part of it, that goes underneath your leg when you sit down. You won't be able to see it on either camera. Yeah, that'll do. I'm just going to clamp it to the top. Right, now I see I can stand up and I'm still in the frame of the camera. Now, I haven't used any of this yet. It's the same as what I normally use. It's just a new reel. It's called Marron. Can you read that? Obviously not. Okay, fair enough then. I don't know why it's called Marron. I don't know what language that is, but to me that's brown. It's a dark brown. So I'm going to keep hold of the sticker so that I can order more of it and know which one's which. They've all got numbers on them. Alright, so we're going along there. About that much to do. Maybe a little bit more for the needle. Okay. It's probably far too much. As per usual. Get there. Let's move that out of the way. Just take these off. This is from making the belt earlier. YouTube is wonderful for giving you lessons. I watched a lady making belts and dog collars a little while back, picked up a really good tip, or two actually. She was excellent at it. So it's like, okay, yep, use those techniques to give it a go. So I've made a dog collar recently, actually for Harry. Now that belt using one of the techniques that I saw. Seems to work quite well. Let's get this in. Now, yesterday it was too hot in here. Today it's too cold. Let's turn the heater back on. I turned it off because Harry was laying in front of it and I didn't want him to get hurt. So I opened up the first couple. It is quite a rigid leather. It should hopefully hold the shape quite well for the pouch. Might well soften up over time. So looking to get some more of this too, possibly. I didn't mention earlier, I don't actually have any idea about copyrights on this one. Nothing was said on the forum. It is basically supposed to be a make of the month for the members of the Facebook group. So, I don't know. I'll have to contact the guy that provided the pattern. If anybody's interested in one of these, just let me know and I will figure it out. I imagine that they could be quite easily adapted to diesel punk, steampunk, any other kind of reenactment. Although, yeah, that's a fair point. Most reenactors want something that's quite period accurate, don't you? So, cosplay maybe, or something like that. We can use different leathers and put. I've seen some lovely little steampunk and diesel punk style conchos and things like that at various suppliers. Lots of cogs and gears and wheels and things like that. That reminds me, one of the other patterns I got was a pair of steampunk style goggles that can be made out of leather. They're just an accessory. You wouldn't actually physically wear the goggles necessarily, but you would wear them on a bowler hat or a top hat. I did also wait to start the stream until after a delivery had arrived. I am expecting potentially a delivery to arrive. So I'll try not to let it interrupt us too much, but I might just have to rush off and open the door. Yeah, That's probably far too much thread. Really got to work out this math thing. I'll work out what that equation was. Have another crack at that. Might be a way of doing it. Surprise, Gregor hasn't popped up yet. Move that along for the last bit there. Just like so. Take that off whilst I finish this bit. Put the needle in just the right place. You can slip it past the thread that's already in the stitch hole. If you do it just right, the thread tends to lay along next to itself. You can almost hide the fact that you've cast off. Through to the other side. Cut these off. Fire! I saw somebody else burning the ends of their threads on a YouTube video, and they then flattened it down with a modelling spoon. One of these things. Used this to smooth out the ends of the threads where they'd melted. You play out, just. Mind you, it's that cold in here today. I wouldn't feel it. Alright, there we go. I'll just show this to you now. Maybe. One line of stitching. Doesn't look straight on the camera because it's a very wide angle thing that's kind of scooping it like this. So, trust me, it is straight. Alright. Let's carry on. Is that going to be enough to do that, do you think? Did that on purpose, you know. The right length. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It is cold in here. Just getting out another needle. Oh, hello. Sorry, didn't notice that comment there. Hello, Mary. Thank you. Do I feel like that's going to be enough? Do you know what? After all, I'll play it on the safe side. Oh, I say no. Let's just take needles off here. So I had confirmation today from my supplier. The leather that I need for the waistcoat is in. Or they're expecting the last of it to arrive today, this afternoon. So hopefully that particular project will be started very soon. As I said, I might live stream some of it, but I will record as much of it as I can, and do maybe like a time-lapse video of it being made. It's going to take a long time. I mean, we're talking about a waistcoat for myself with lots of things that I've never done before again, like pockets and stuff. That's all new to me. But it'll be a journey. It'll be interesting. I should also do. I should probably back up one stitch on this, so I do the first stitch in both directions on this bit because it is the belt loop. Just make it a bit stronger. There we go. Yeah, everything like that stuff will be here next week. Depends on when it gets dispatched. I've already got half of what I need. The only reason I was waiting is because I need more of the sheepskins to do the lining. Yes. It needs a lining. I'm kind of making it so it's like a garment that could be worn indoors or outdoors. I have a lovely sheep's wool lining, but I don't have the actual sheep's wool here. Oh, hello. Glad you can make it. It's a shame it didn't give you the notification. But you found me anyway. cast this one off again. So what are you up to today then? How are you dealing with your tea addiction? Yeah, I know there's a bit of a delay at times, isn't there? More fire. Let's turn it off. Somebody in one of the groups this morning posted a photo of a stitching horse. It looked awesome. It's probably going to be far more expensive than I could actually afford. But it had lots of really nice functions and features on it, so it was desirable, let's say that. I got a really comfy seat as well for all those hours that you sometimes have to spend sewing something. Pretty much my first thought was, wow, that looks expensive and over-engineered. I want one. Needless to say, I didn't even bother asking how much it was. Isn't that a little bit ironic? You're doing all this study about the biology of the brain, but you have to use your brain to do biology. Now, don't say that. I mean, you can walk and chew gum, can't you? Oh, 2.5 weeks, yeah. You got a lot of work ahead of yourself here. Is it just like the remote learning kind of thing that's causing you problems, is it? Yeah, I can remember I did a course many years ago that was basically over the internet, and it was very difficult to be motivated to do it. I mean, I totally understand how all of the students and school children today feel, and this is when it's a lot more commonplace to use devices to do this kind of thing. I was doing this, showing my age now, must have been 20 years ago, and it was literally just like an internet page. Being able to use Zoom calls and things like that just didn't exist really. That was Windows Messenger, and that was about it. Yeah, I can totally sympathise with everybody doing their remote learning now. Can't say it's a situation I would enjoy much either. I look at one though. She goes and does taekwondo online now. She was doing taekwondo before lockdown and everything, doing it for years. It's kind of scary, actually. Yeah. The reasonable lines of reasonable lines of stitching there. Right. Well, fingers crossed. I hope you catch up. I really do. It's important stuff. There we go. Loud bang. That boy. This is a fun bit. This is. Let's clear some space. I'll need some of this in a minute. So I'm not going to need. What have we got here? Move them over there. I'm going to need them again in a minute. Right. Trying to put things away as I do things. The idea here, I've done this a couple of times before, and I will confess it's not something I've done a lot of, so I haven't really got the practice for the technique down. But we've got a 45-degree angle beveled onto the leather here along the edges, so that when we bring them together, you get a right angle. 45 plus 45 makes 90. I can do that. The idea being that they sit nice and neat along the edges. See if I can line it up like this. That's the intention. That means if you want to hide the stitches on the inside, you can actually make the stitch holes at an angle. It's not easy to do, but we're going to give it a shot. See if we can do it. Oh, right. Strap. I mean, this bit. If you do, then yeah, I cut it from the same piece of leather. This bit I'm a little bit nervous about, because as I say, I'm not very good at this and it may not come out well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wing divider, and that is about the, yeah, about the same width as the bevel I put on there. But because my bevel isn't all that consistent, because I just did it with this tool, I'm just going to double check it, maybe trim a bit more here and there. To make sure I get some consistency. I'll mark the other side of the leather where that bevel starts on the leather here. So I'll mark it on here. That is where I'll put my stitching iron at a slight angle to go through the leather, and then it will come out on a stitch line around here. Technically, you shouldn't see the stitches on the inside when you look into the box. This leather isn't very thick, so I really doubt that this will work that well. What I do have we made these up. Yeah, that bit. Yeah, I cut that from the same piece of leather, so its markings will match. These are just pieces of wood. So as you can see, it's at a 45-degree angle. The idea is that I should be able to put that there like that, and then my stitching iron can go straight down, and I'll get the right angle to go through the leather at. That is the theory. I also have this one here, which has got a couple of pieces of wood on it. And I should be able to put the two sides like that in there, and it's going to hold it still. In a jig-like fashion. For me to sew. Yeah, sorry, just fiddling with it, 'cause I have not actually used this tool. What might be easiest is if I just mark the lines with the stitch or with the with this. Figure out where the hole's going to go with this, and then just use my awl like I would do normally. I can put it on the table like that. Okay, a plan is forming here. May not be a very good plan, but it's forming. I'll put that away. This is going to be interesting, because I've got to go around a 90-degree bend here as well. So I technically need it like that. Too. I might just be able to wedge it like that. It's only a few seconds. Yeah. We'll work this out, shall we? Nothing like doing this live. So that is about right. Go with the divider like this. Just think, because that's, yeah. Ah, slipped. Let's go that far, don't I? Stop there. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's very simple looking, but you just got to give it a shot, really. If you never try these kind of things, how are you ever going to learn? It's just that I like to make my mistakes really public and everlasting. And which direction am I stitching in as well? Because that will depend. Well, it can go either way on there, can't it? So I'm having to work all this stuff out as I go on the fly. Let's stitch that way around this side. Now, I'm not actually going to go right the way through the leather. This is just going to be marking of the leather. So that I can get the right distancing and shape for the stitches. Now that one will go on there like that. So because these are right-handed irons. Yeah, let's work this out, shall we? Well, suffice to say, whatever I get wrong here, I won't get wrong on the next one. It'll just come out better. There we go. Right, only one thing for it. That's to do it. Oh, this is fiddly, this is. Maybe it needs to be able to hold that a bit tighter. Aha! Necessity is the mother of invention. There you go, it's holding a bit tighter there. Just got to make sure that the edges actually come up high enough on the jig. There we go. Right. All right. I only thought about using this on the spur of the moment just now. So apologies. I realise this isn't that easy to see. I'll do. So if I bring that over here like that. There you go. So as you can see, I've just put my knee against the side of the bench. There's some shelves down here. I've got my toes on the shelf. There we go. You can see Harry's bed down there. No Harry though. Okay. About that much should do it. Hasn't snowed again yet today, has it? Just looking at the cameras pointing outside, security cameras. I don't see anything on there. All right, so idea being, if I can see what I'm doing, idea is being that I should be able to put it all through here and aim for the line. The other side. Need to do a I did actually, again, spend some time on YouTube and I watched a brilliant tutorial on how to do this properly by a gentleman called Nigel Armitage. I strongly suggest looking him up. He's written books and all kinds of stuff on leatherwork. Hey, Steve-O, how you doing, mate? There we go. Oh, yeah, it doesn't hold very well, but the jig is holding. Very carefully. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this because I can already feel my right leg going numb. The trick is also not to pull the threads too tight because you're just going to squish the joint. You don't need to pull it tight like you would do if you're just sewing two pieces of leather together. You have a little bit of flexibility in it, it's less likely to damage itself during use as well. If you're still there, Steve-O, did you enjoy your game last night? Watched for as long as I could, but I can't. I need a bit more sleep than you do. Just gonna switch legs. Oh, that one's gone numb. Have to sit straight again. The only reason I haven't clamped it is because there's a drawer in the way down here. I can't actually get a clamp onto it, I don't think. So if I'm going to do this again, I'll find another way of doing this that involves holding it with a G-clamp or something, because it's not the easiest thing to do this way. Might need to put 2 stitches through the same hole because this is quite a tight bend, quite a tight corner, and obviously the outer circumference of the corner is longer than the inner circumference of the corner. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's where the next one goes. So yeah, I'll bring that one through. That won't work coming back this way, will it though? Might just have to another hole very close. This bit I can clamp it down for. of much smaller stitches just there on that corner. Oh yeah, thank you for letting me know about that. I'm still using the same stitch as always. A saddler's safety stitch, saddle stitch, whatever you want to call it. It's by the nature of the stitch, it'll be the best one to use for this situation. I feel it's going to prevent the stitches from coming undone if they chafe. I'm impressed with this jig. This literally is the first time. This is multiple. What, A? No, I don't want to work that out. If this works out well, I might just size it up a bit and use a thicker leather. Make one for a box of shotgun shells. Nice if I could stop that from jiggling about, wouldn't it? So I got my dad to make this tool for me, must have been nearly a year ago. Deck box for Magic, yeah. Yeah, I got this tool made up like a year ago now. My dad, just being a woodworker, could put something together like this a bit better than I could. I never got around to doing anything with it. Wish I had now. This is making this bit easy, he says. Or easier. Alright, hopefully I can still sew along there. Yeah, you see the wood's getting in the way of me all. It's pushing it into a different angle. Slide that there. If I go into the wrong angle, I won't get it. I'm just going to do this. Pierce the thread there, that's why we check. It's getting in the way. There we are. Do it like that. It's the last bit anyway. Right. Obviously, you saw me when I was doing the marking up the stitch holes. I've got one stitch hole too many. What I will learn from this is that I will do it nearly as far as I think I need to go and then stop, because it's easier to put an extra hole in than it is to do something about having an extra hole. I might have to... Well, this is a fair point, actually. I hadn't considered that as a use for it. They are about the right size. I even have some magic cards here in the shop I can check. It needs to be slightly wider, and then you could have like a 2-deck box. Right, I'm just going to cross over the top like that and do like a crossover stitch to help hold. There we go. Get through there without breaking my finger. Down there. I'm going to do that again to help reinforce that. You can guarantee this is where all the strain is going to be on the item. At the opening, isn't it? And then cast off as normal. Oh, what's that? Thank you, Donna. How you guys doing? You enjoying all the snow? Oh, that's a good point. Yes, the size of the sleeves, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying it. You've got a heck of a lot more than we have. Pull that through to the back there and cast off on the back. So I'll give you a better look at what I've done. So I've done two looped over stitches there. I'm hoping that's in focus. Just to help reinforce it, because that's where any kind of wear or tension or anything is going to be. If you have a look down the inside there, you can barely see any stitches. I'm dead chuffed with that. I mean, yeah, you can see marks, you can just about see them, but this is very thin leather. It's been snowing again. We had a little bit of snow this morning, actually. I walked to the shop in the snow this morning. But when I say in the snow, it was, if it had been rain, it was the equivalent of drizzle. It's been wholly pathetic. I'm mightily peeved. I live in Scotland. It's supposed to snow! You guys got more snow in southeast England. In fact, I think everywhere else has got more snow than I have. Let's just melt the ends. There we go. Seal them. It is mighty cold here at the moment, though. All right. Now then, time to go the other way. Let's take that off there. Roll that down a bit. Ooh. Yeah, that works. That takes the tension off of it. Yeah, but the winter that I moved up here, it was Beast from the East 1.0. This is now supposed to be Beast from the East 2.0, and we've got nothing. Always goes to show, sequels are never as good as the original. Alright, just getting this lined up on here. And go back to wedging it with my leg on the side of the... I might have to do it that way round, because I am right-handed. So this is where being able to sew in two directions, both right-handed and left-handed, backwards or forwards. It'd be really helpful if I had those skills, wouldn't it? Yes, yeah, it's above freezing at the moment. And yes, you're right. We've got a prediction for Baltic tonight. I've been running the heater on the camper van just to stop it all from freezing and stop everything from getting cold and damp inside the camper van. I've been running the heater in there. Never actually considered that I'd have to do that, but it was a fair point. I've just been running it on the driveway for a couple of hours, morning and evening, keep the warmth inside the vehicle. Yeah, -7 though. They got -10 up here, Beast from the East 1.0, the year we moved. -10, I registered that on the motorbike on the way to work. Yeah. I've got a little temperature readout on the handlebars. I said -10. All right, let's move the tensioner up there. All right, let's put that back underneath the camera. Oh, there it is. Just bring this in, kicked it back there. So there's an anti-fatigue mat. It's brilliant. You can probably also see my right. Where are I? Yeah, there's my funky shoes. -4. So there you go. It's colder in Kent than it is in Scotland. How's that work out? Yeah, I thought you'd like them. Just gonna see if I can stitch upside down. That way. Gotta remember to do this the other way around. This could go horribly wrong. You could have suddenly found that the stitching comes out in a reverse. No, I bloody won't. She's weird, that woman. Wants to paint toenails on my shoes. She thinks she's funny. Nah. It's a good point. Did you ever get to paint that bit on the motorbike hot pink in the end, Steve-O? I think it was a little scoop at the bottom of the engine cowling that you was planning to get hot pink, weren't you? No? Okay. No! You sell it then? Really? Mind you, I can't really call myself a biker much now anyway. There's a couple of guys up here who I could go out on motorbikes with. One of them being my landlord next door at the cafe. He's got a Harley Breakout. There's Ron, who's got a trike. And we keep planning on going on ride outs. But then just the last year, well, you can imagine. Some pretty good places we could visit around here. It's all gone. No. Right, now I can turn this over and clamp it to the desk again. I'm very glad about because my leg's going numb again. Oof. So if you hear about them mistreating it, you can go and find it. Let's just turn that over and let's... I've got to use it all in my other hand as well now. This would be interesting. I've never done it this way around before. So this would be where I stuff it into my finger. It really will be. Try and do it left-handed. Oh, it's like learning to sew all over again. Ow! Told you. This is really awkward. I haven't got the greatest dexterity in my hands, as I was explaining before. But learning how to do this. Hey, it keeps the mind young. Probably a cure for Alzheimer's. Learning how to sew with your left hand. Who needs Sudoku? Ow. Ow. I did briefly think for a moment whilst I was marking these out, maybe I should sew it from this side instead of that side. Now I know. Yeah, but I'm not using I'm not pricking myself with a needle. I'm pricking myself with this. Try this the right way around. I can't do this. How come you still got a pinhole in your finger? I mean, come on. You're not got any platelets in your blood or something? If you ever do come and work for McGregor, a blood blister. If you ever do come and work for me, that machine behind me, yeah. If Steve-O's still about, he'll tell you about what happened to his thumb. I took a big chunk out of my finger once with it too. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. No. You don't want gloves on when you're near that machine. Not at all. That's how you get dragged inside it. Nearly there. Oh, I'm surprised you can't hear me concentrating on this. Loud clanking and whirring of gears inside the head. Ooh, come on. Let's move this. There we go. You've got a few more stitches to go, and it's done. Oh, then still got to put the concho on it, but that's just screw thread. Hmm. Right. Nearly there. Come on. Monty Python songs typed into it. You find them motivational, do you? It's all starting to loosen up a bit again, isn't it? Getting there. I'm thinking of some improvements for this tool. I'm definitely going to work out a way how to do this next time where I don't have to try and sew left-handed. Just need that going there, like that. All right. That was the last hole that needs to be made. I'm going to take that off. There we go. Right. Same as on the other side. Do a couple of loop toe stitches around the outside to help strength on the corner here. The opening. testing that. Ooh. Hey, how you doing, babe? Right, well, I'm about to put the concho on the front of it. She may recognise it. Right, I'm going to put that. Just a moment. Right. Let's bring this back over here. Okay, back to that. I went, because I was sewing left-handed, I've got a little bit awry from the line here, and it means that the stitches are slightly visible on the inside. But otherwise, I'm pretty impressed with myself for being able to figure out how to do that. I'm impressed with the jig. It could do with a couple of tweaks on it to make it a little bit easier to use. But otherwise, it's worked well. So there we go. Put this piece of decoration on here. As you can see, it pretty much covers the press stud in there. That's all I need. Right, so just put a couple of drops on it and then screw it in. Basically what it says. Probably going to get long before that starts to set. Fingers, because it's such a tiny little thing. There we go. Make sure it's around the right straight, upright. Screwdriver. Oops. There we go. One belt pouch. Once you slot a few things inside that, they'll open and close easier. I really like the coloration of the leather for this one. It looks awesome. I think it does look a little bit like dragon skin. Better put the lid back on that. Well, it's a tough one. Because apart from one thing, I don't know how much the leather actually cost in this instance. I would want to use a slightly thicker, better leather for this. Obviously, I'll get faster at it the more I do it. I'll have to get back to you on that one, but I will sit down and work it out, I think. Find. Does it have to be like a... Yes, Gronkel skin. I was just going to say that, Gronkel skin. It's fish legs that rides the Gronkel, isn't it? And he has loads of pouches, doesn't he? So, yeah. Right. Yeah, I'll get back to you on the price kind of thing. Because I have absolutely no idea. Well, that's probably a good point to wrap this up. And let's go with the belt, obviously, that I made this morning for her. So I know this is brown, this is black, but I had a piece of brown leather in the shop and it just wasn't quite long enough to do the job. It's like, would have looked really good that. But yeah, I made her up this morning to go with it. There we go. So thank you very much for sticking around. If you feel like subscribing, the choice is yours. You will get obviously notified when I go live, but if you're following on the Facebook page, you get that too. But yeah, click the bell thing. I don't know where all those little fancy icons come from that people use where it says to do that for you, but I will think of something else to make next. As I say, I should be receiving the leather for that waistcoat very soon. If not by the end of the week, then the beginning of next week. So that'll be a major project on the go and will involve many hours of work. And I will try and video as much of it as I possibly can whilst I'm doing it. And that one will actually end up being an edited video. But if I can do some of it live, then I will. I am recording the live broadcasts, so I'll be able to include those into an edited video at some point. Yeah, well, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the snow if you've got snow. Wrap up warm if you haven't. Either way, take care and be safe. And hopefully I'll see you soon.